TV services, Lavazzi and Who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 559. Can I start that one again?
Yes.
559.
59. I like that.
Right. Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 559. I'm Adam and Eggs. And here's Ben Shoveler.
I haven't got a clue what we're doing.
Mary Lang.
Hello, the Chin.
Yeah. And Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
Run, you clever boy, and remember, how come no one used that one?
Why would anybody want to? It's Asylum of the Daleks. And, I haven't even got me... How am I going to watch this? Or maybe I have got it on Apple TV. That's the only thing I didn't get ready, was the Apple TV tab. But in the meantime, I can say that Terry Miles has said, you're working for security at the store now. I'm not at the store, Terry. I'm at home. And, remarking for the sort of layman listener, I'm currently wearing a Scotty uniform from the original Star Trek series because I've been at Comic-Con today, but I've got stripes, you know.
Well, you'll have to tell us all about it.
Well, officer stripes generally mean you're a bit safer than the usual red shirt.
Shiny ones too.
Shiny ones, yeah. So, right, where do we get up to? Yes, I was trying to find some Doctor Who on my Apple TV. Asylum of the Daleks. Well, that's Series 7, isn't it? Series 2, Series 6, Series 7. Here it is.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
The Specials series.
The Specials. Oh, that goes right over the Americans' heads, doesn't it? That's a song by The Special. Anyway, right, so, am I allowed to start, by the way? No?
Why not?
I'm going to do it anyway. The episode starts with... I've got subtitles on this.
Adam,
Yes, Robert?
you can start now.
Right, Lillian Robbins says hi, by the way. Yeah, the episode starts with some bird doing a voiceover of this, what looks like a Dalek mountain, the way the sort of camera's flying around it.
Master. There is supposedly a prequel to this where he meets the woman on Earth, the woman he's about to meet at Skaro, but I could not find a copy of it anywhere.
Oh, dear.
That's good. Announce what you cannot do. That's right.
Right,
I did find Pond Life, and I watched Pond Life, where...
I should have watched those, actually, but never mind. They're a bit irrelevant.
Adam, just to add to what Kirby's just said there, I also had heard about that. And so, in a similar vein, I tried to regenerate and couldn't.
I found a regenerating burger on Married at First Sight Australia and posted it on TikTok. But back to this episode of Doctor Who. Yes, so as Kirby was alluding to, the Doctor mysteriously meets a mysterious woman in a mysterious place on mysterious Skaro, and mysteriously a mysterious thing comes out of a mysterious forehead, and then a mysterious Dalek gun comes out of a mysterious hand and mysteriously shoots the Doctor. But he's not dead.
Master, Robo-Men have improved quite a bit in 50 years.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, they're all of these people who take them in are Robo-Men.
Okay. Well, she's a woman. It's a Robo-Woman.
Picky.
Then we have some shots of what Mr. M, i.e., Mr. M, would describe as, Karen Gillan looking hot because she's in the middle of a photo shoot. She's a model now, but we alluded to this in the last series when there was pictures of her in a like a sort of shopping department store.
You mean for the fragrance Petrichor?
That's the one. Yeah, she always looks hot, but she's being a model here, but she's divorcing from Rory. Absurd.
Yes, boo-hoo.
As Rory says later in the episode, 2,000 years waited for you. But there you go. Not too much commitment in there, is it? Anyway, so she's divorcing from Rory, but we find out what her problem is later on. We'll talk about later. Anyway, so she gets, this is Amy, gets hijacked by a Dalek, as does Rory. And they find themselves on a
pond has been acquired.
Yes, they find themselves on a Dalek spaceship, which is not just any old Dalek spaceship. It's Kirby.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay, that's the Parliament of the Daleks. Shh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading something, so I didn't hear what you said.
Great timing. Yeah.
Yes, great timing.
Anyway, so the good scene. They get back together again, and I think the Doctor doesn't quite notice the awkwardness between Amy and Rory, but he does his big I am speech in front of this Parliament of Daleks because he thinks he's going to get exterminated. But all the Daleks say to him is save us, save the Daleks, and now that monster, I can't even speak. Nonsense, that's the word I was looking for. Then we have the slightly revamped title sequence. And an extremely, I don't care what you lot say, hot-looking Jenna Coleman, who looks absolutely, in this episode, stunningly beautiful, although her voice is a bit different to what are future versions of what we now future called Clara. In this episode, she's also in...
Master.
Jesus
Remember
Christ.
how we were all watching this and we were going, wait a second, is that? Because it was unexpected that she was going to show up in this episode.
Yeah, we knew. Did we not know that Jenna Coleman was going to be the companion? Didn't we?
We knew that she was going to be the companion, but nobody knew that she was going to be in this episode. And they had a preview at the BMI and told everyone, don't leak this, and that no one leaked it.
Well, you were very disappointed about that, weren't you, Kirby?
Yes, I was.
Lillian Robbins.
No,
says,
actually, I quite enjoyed the fact that we had her early.
Good. I beg your pardon. Family show, Kirby. Lillian Robbins says the prequel is on Daily Motion, or as we used to call it on the 20 Megabyte podcast,
How true.
So the gorgeous Jenna Coleman is wearing this sort of very short orangey red thing, dress with a sort of utility belt and baking burnt soufflés. And Kirby likes to point out that the chair she has is the same chair that the Doctor's daughter and David Tennant's missus had in The Doctor's Daughter. She has a hammock, she has a little dictaphone, and she talks a lot. She's the one doing she's the narrator of this episode.
Did they think we wouldn't notice that the chair was the same?
I didn't notice, but they obviously don't sort of...
Well, you didn't notice until I pointed it out.
No.
You noticed.
I didn't care. I don't pay close attention to props and all that.
It's mildly interesting, Kirby, but not majorly. To me, I think we probably mentioned it last time. Anyway, when we did this show, I'm pretty sure I'd completely and quite happily forgotten about that particular fact until you brought it back up again. So anyway, where we go? The Doctor's sort of... They want the Doctor to... he's doing a lot of sort of gurning in this episode. So I thought somebody said something. So they send the Doctor and Amy and Rory on a mission. So they basically get sent to what is supposed to be Alaska, but I'm not quite sure it is. Is it?
No, that's the name of the ship that she was assigned to.
I saw the label Alaska, and I thought, it's interesting. Is it supposed to be Alaska? And also, I found quite interesting that because they made these Teletubby Daleks at this stage of Doctor Who, they had to use them in some way, shape, or form, and they did do with the white one in this episode. So I'm just moving on a bit because, sorry, I got a bit of a dry throat. They get sent down to Alaska via these really weird crystally white things. They land in different places in the snow, and this chap's already down there, who looks like he's wearing one of the E17 Christmas song suits, you know.
I like how Rory goes down upside down.
They were bound to do. Predictable. But what I say, so he finds all three of them eventually after, finding Rory upside down, like you say. And they're being guided by Oswin Oswald, because I think the mission, isn't it initially to sort of save the Daleks, i.e. save her, I don't know, because they find this hole, and down the hole is lots of allegedly, but not quite, dormant Daleks. I seem to remember there being a certain amount of excitement when one of the dormant Daleks was an old foe from a Sylvester McCoy episode.
There's a special weapons Dalek in there somewhere.
I have the special weapons Dalek that Debbie Melrose bought me. It's sitting on my just in front of my TV. I'm not going to go and show it to you because I'll probably show it.
I was several Wholantas ago. I saw where someone had created a full-size special weapons Dalek. It was cool.
Yes. Anyway, so so it was a bit creepy.
More than a yes. Really, that was actually quite an interesting thing that Kirby saw that probably not a lot of people have done.
Did he? Was it? Oh.
Well, you not think so, Kirby?
Well, he does, obviously, because he said it.
Back yourself up, Kirby. I'm backing you up.
Yes, thank you.
Well, when I go to Chicago TARDIS, there are Daleks of all sizes and shapes, and there's a special weapons, all full size, of course. And there's a special weapons Dalek there too. Maybe it's the same person.
It's probably the same person.
Carts his. If I had gone to the trouble to make one of those, I would probably take it everywhere.
You'd take it to the shops, wouldn't you?
I love the Tiki Dalek that I see sometimes.
The Watty Dalek?
It's a Tiki Dalek. It's made out of like grass and stuff. It's like a tiki hut sort of thing.
It's a chicken tiki Dalek. Where's my bell gone? A chicken tiki. Right then, Lillian Robbins says, okay.
It's not worth it.
What? Couldn't hear you because of Ben.
I couldn't hear Ben because of me. Sorry. Lillian Robbins says, okay. And then Ian Kirk says, I've never seen spelt like this, Lillian. I have to tell the others. DAILYNBGGFFYHNTION. I didn't realise it was a Welsh word.
SION at the end.
Right, okay. Ian Kirk says, there are not many Skittles Daleks in the Parliament. They are Lib Dems. Oh, God, Ian. Oh, my bell went funny then. I think the bell got lucky on that one. Lily Roman says, I need to get Oswin's dress for my cosplay. Well, you do indeed. Oh, could you hear that? There was somebody driving up Albert Street thinking it's M25. Mind you wouldn't get that fast in the M25. Back to Doctor Who. So, so there's a big sort of, there's a spaceship or something rather under the snow. And by the way, I forgot to mention that these sort of Dalek-y people, with, as you call them, robo-men, they get infected by these nano whatnots that make them into these Dalek robo-men, which is quite a good modern way of explaining the robo-man situation. There you go. And the rest of E17 are in the spaceship with their hoods on, but they're all like versions of the Master when he didn't have any regenerations left. So he was a bit slightly skeletal and a bit sleepy. Oh, dead. Sorry, dead. And at that point we start getting a bit suspicious of the nice man who brought them down there, and of course his head sort of sprouts a Dalek eye, and he gets squirted with a fire extinguisher. Very useful fire extinguishers. Ironic as well, considering that that's what Dalek guns actually were back in the day. So maybe that's why that scene was put in there. Kirby's keeping very quiet. I'll continue. And gladly quiet. I'll continue. Eventually.
Maybe I stepped out to go to the bathroom. No, I was just reading something.
Nice you're paying attention. So.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so Amy is I think she thinks she's affected by this virusy thing. Somewhere, Rory is elsewhere. He's with the sort of dusty and sort of aged Daleks, and they're starting to move, and they're going egg, which is obviously my quote, Kirby.
And it was going to be my quote, but you took it.
Did you notice, though, the fact... I love the bit where they're going egg and he picks up one of the little bauble things. Is this your egg? I thought that was quite clever.
Yeah.
And, of course, the fact that the soufflé is made of egg and they're going egg. I thought that was quite a clever little in-joke. So, eventually the Daleks look like they're coming back to life, and Rory gets a bit scared, and... Amy's getting a bit funny and gives the Doctor a hug. And there is a point, and I don't know where it is because I'm not listening to the words of this because I'm talking to you lot, but where Amy explains to Rory why she wanted to divorce him, to free him of her, because at Demon's Run she was made incapable of having children, and
it's when they're standing on the teleport pad.
Yeah, that's much later in the story.
Yeah, no, I'm not just going to say it now because I'll probably forget about it later on. And but she's had a kid. She had River Song, which is, of course, Ben's favourite Doctor Who character of all time.
One of them.
There's a good scene where when Amy goes a bit sort of skew-whiff, and it reminds me of the scene back in the day when we saw Cassandra before she became a trampoline, and she's dancing around. What?
I'm just laughing at your description. Yes.
So Amy sort of starts having a dance of what she thinks is some gallant men, and there's a little ballet dancer in the background. It turns out they're all Daleks, but I thought that was quite a clever little scene, that. And the Doctor pulls away from that, and there's a scene where later on, like we say, where Rory says, okay, well, he'll wear the bangle, because they're wearing these bangles that are supposed to protect them from this thing, this nano...
From the nano genes.
Yeah. And so Rory offers, because he says if he gives Amy his, he'll have longer before he sort of succumbs to it, because Amy's already sort of a bit further on in that department. So.
But then they discover that the Doctor has swapped his.
Yeah. That's because the Doctor doesn't succumb to it at all, because he's the Doctor.
The Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor.
I tell you what, you lot all hate her, but I absolutely love Jenna Coleman. I'm really looking forward to the Clara episodes. I know there was a little bit too Clara, she was the star of the show.
It's not Jenna Coleman or the Clara character that I hate. It's that the way they started writing the series is that her character was taking over for the Doctor.
Yeah.
She was
for some reason. I like her.
It became the Clara show.
Yeah, I know it did.
But
mildly irritating.
I don't have any problem with Clara in these early couple of seasons either.
That's fine. I know what you're saying. But there is a point in which...
I do have an issue with the fact that she becomes the Doctor's girlfriend, when they are together.
Yeah, I'll reserve, because I have to rewatch these and it might remind me later on. But all I can think of, yes, I understood your irritations around the writing of Clara within, her being... maybe the centre character within Doctor Who at the time, where it should be the Doctor. Certainly.
I was very glad to see her finally take off in her TARDIS.
Me too.
But
Me too.
I thought Jenna Coleman, her screen presence is, amazing. And the only thing I find disappointing about her being in this episode, and you've got Amy and Rory in it, is that you've got a beautiful screen capturing person like Jenna Coleman, and the same as Karen Gillan, and they never meet within this story, and that's the only chance they had of doing that.
And the scenes with Jenna Coleman, because she is so, as you say, screen capturing, are so much better that Amy comes across being kind of a lesser light in this.
Yeah. I find her, she's very pretty obviously, but I find her performance much more mature than she actually was at the time when she did this story. I think it's just I find it totally engrossing. Jenna's version of this character, because it's not quite Clara, is it? It's a version of Clara, but it isn't the version of Clara. And obviously, it was an embryonic sort of thing. But yeah, just sort of totally captivated by her. I think she's great. I
have a question. Is she one of the Splinters? Because she's not. Most of the Splinter Claras call themselves Clara.
Yeah, but if you find out later on, all the Claras are Clara Oswin Oswald, aren't they? So this is an Oswin Oswald. Yeah?
Yeah, because we get enough
Oswin Oswald is the surname, so maybe she's just calling herself by a surname. Possibly, I don't know. I don't care, to be fair. I think she's great. And she was great in this episode, but... so, like I say, she is guiding them through. She sat in her little capsule, expecting to be sort of rescued at some point. And just moving forward a little bit. And they've come to the bit where Amy and Rory sort of make up. Again, those two love acting together.
Make up a lot.
I just say they love acting together, don't they? You can tell. We got obviously the dynamic between Karen Gillan and Matt Smith, which you can see they love acting together. But she's really lucky in Doctor Who, because she's got Matt Smith, lead actor. She really does have a good rapport with, and she's got Rory, who was originally brought in as almost like a joke character in the first ever episode of Matt Smith's era, and she's got that with him as well. So, and of course Matt Smith's got that with Oswin Oswald. He's got that with, I don't know, unless it's just him, just good with acting with people, I don't know. And of course with River Song as well. So he's got it. It's got a good sort of blend of actors in it at the moment. Sort of glossing over the Moffatisms, but I don't think this one's too bad in regards to Moffatisms, this particular episode. So I'm going to have to move it forward, because it's too much to describe. But to cut a long story short, eventually the Doctor finds Oswin is actually a Dalek with some rather pathetic-looking heavy...
not a Dalek!
Yeah, some rather ineffectual and ridiculous-looking old chains just going over its head and tying it to the ground. I seem to remember the Dalek in Dalek had a bit more effort put on it in regards to the chains. But it does lead to it's quite an iconic shot of the Dalek in chains and the Doctor sort of up close to the Dalek, holding it, almost like hugging it, and sort of speaking into it, but not looking into its eye. Yeah,
I wonder if they don't say, but I wonder if Nick Briggs took over the voice when she became a Dalek, because it doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, this probably was him, because he is a good vocal actor, but other than being the Daleks, isn't he? I think I seem to think. Anyway,
well, she does that thing about, why do they hate you so much? Yeah. He take over, or did she do that? I just wonder.
I have a funny feeling it was him. It's just, it's a good... I bet Nick Briggs loves this one, because it gave him the opportunity to do all sorts of different things with the Dalek voices.
Could well have actually been both of their voices mixed
could have been.
together.
That would have been a cool way of doing it. Yeah,
possibly.
I wonder if Kirby should know. Kirby knows everything.
If I'd ever listened to it, I could tell you, but I haven't.
I wish I could isolate the actual scene. I've got a bit of it here. Here we go.
Eggs. It wasn't real. It was never real.
That was Nick Briggs, wasn't it?
That would definitely be
she was actually mouthing the words in the scene. Of course, she does realise she's a Dalek, and then she apparently, this is the Moffatism of the story, wipes the memories of the Doctor from all Daleks. No.
For a couple of years only.
That was a bit silly, wasn't it?
Yes.
If the Daleks don't remember the Doctor at all ever, we're never going to have a Dalek story, because there's no reason for the Daleks to be, sort of looking out and trying to kill the Doctor. So that there takes the need for the Daleks being in Doctor Who away. But like I say, It was all done. They all forgot him, so he didn't kill him. So he got away, dropped Amy and Rory home, and Rory looks really pleased as he thinks he's on for a you-know-what.
A free McDonald's?
Yes, exactly. A free
I
McDonald's.
saw that.
Before I say what I think of it, Lillian Robin says, I found a dress on Amazon that'll work. Need a belt with a whisk. Okay. Yeah, right, so, Asylum of the Daleks. Yes, I thought it was quite a sort of engaging, that's a word I was looking for, engaging episode of Doctor Who with a good cast, actually rather good CGI for once. Some of it was good, but there was a few bits where it was so blatantly obviously CGI, because it's a bit too tidy, isn't it? When you see these sort of long distance shots of hundreds or thousands of Daleks or whatnot, they're too tidy for me. They've got all these Daleks that have been bashed up a bit because of war or whatnot, yet they're all spaced out as if someone's sort of set out a ruler and put them in a slightly too tidy place.
I think they would stand as the Nazis stood, for example, in regimented lines. I mean, surely.
Possibly. But they were supposed to be
That
battle
would be
hardened.
characteristic of Daleks because they're very mechanical. They would be that way.
Maybe.
I don't think they'd stand just like randomly. Dave Dalek, you go stand over there by the wall.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the only thing.
Not there, mate. Not there. You look like you might be in a line with someone else. That Pearson bloke won't like it.
No, well,
no,
quite rightly so. But yeah, no, I thought it was pretty good. Like I say, apart from the stupid, let's make the Daleks forget all of the Doctor, rather like he tried to do in the previous episode, like letting everybody forget about the Doctor, apart from River, obviously, who then reminded Amy and Roy of the Doctor, and that didn't really last very long at all, did it? So yeah, apart from that, I thought there was no need for that. But he was okay. What do you think of it, Ben? I don't know. I didn't watch it. Oh, okay.
No, I haven't watched it since it was on. When was it on, Sally?
Kirby knows.
Just a second. I don't have that.
It wasn't just a second ago, Kirby.
It was on 1st of September 2012.
Yeah.
So that was 11 years ago. Yeah.
10.5.
I can remember at the time the whole, it's Clara, but it's not Clara thing. And yeah, I seem to see, as they were then the big reveal of her being a Dalek. Yeah, it was all right.
Thank you, Ben. Right then, Kirby, what did you think?
It was okay.
What?
Okay, I have a few problems with it. I can't imagine the Daleks having a parliament. They just don't work that way.
Did the Nazis have a parliament?
Yeah, but the difference between Nazis and Daleks is how would Daleks be able to cast a vote with a pen on a voting slip?
Yeah,
I mean, if they tried to use the sucker thingy, it would just ruin the paper. If they tried to use the exterminator thing, it would just exterminate it.
I don't know. They build spaceships, they very technical things.
That's very true. But did they ever have to hold a big biro or a little voting pencil like you get in this country with the little golf pencils? I'm not sure they'd have the dexterity, actually.
Dexterity.
And then would they be able to move it to the point where they could put a cross on a bit of paper, fold the bit of paper, and then put it in the voting box? You haven't thought this through at all, have you?
Anyway, it's an entertaining watch. It's definitely not one of my favorites. I'll watch it occasionally. I've watched it more than once in the past 10.5 years, but it's okay.
Yes, but Jenna Coleman, Kirby.
Yes, that's what
Ben has just pointed out. 11 years ago, she looked like that. She looks like that now. Amazing.
Yes, and she's even more famous now.
Is she?
Well, from all the things that she's been in since.
Well, she's only been in Victoria, hasn't she? She's been
I think more than that.
Hasn't been in any films, has she? Is she? Okay.
Yeah, Jenna Coleman has been in a
I'll
lot.
find out. Good grief.
Oh, God.
I
here we
know.
go.
I didn't know it was a quiz.
It's not a quiz. Anyway, let's find out what Mary thinks.
Well, I rather enjoyed it.
Oh my
I
God.
have to savor the enjoyment of these last few episodes before my hate washes over. Yes, so, yeah, you're going to hear a lot of negative coming up after the
Are we going to have to put lots of alkaline over the microphones?
Clara becomes, the central character. But Jenna Coleman in this is wonderful. So I don't blame her and I don't hate her. I think she is one of the shining lights in this story. And I like Moffat written stories. They don't make a bit of sense, but they're fun. They're adventures. There's lots of good humor. So yes, I have to love them while I can. So that's it.
I just had some feedback come through from Roberts, which I shall probably get Mary to read out in due course very soon. Well, no, actually, we get Kirby's good at doing Australian accents. We'll get Kirby to do in due course. Good day, mate. So they start with good day, mate.
Is it the same feedback that he sent to the group?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
If Australians start off by saying good day, mate, you dag and stuff like that, so you have to try and insert sort of colloquialisms like that into it to make it Aussie. But we won't do that.
Do I need to go get some shrimp and put on the Barbie?
That sort of thing, but not with an American accent, Kirby. It's with an Australian accent.
Putting a shrimp on the Barbie in an American accent really kills it.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't sound very... You can say the words, but it's got to sound like the... Just think Paul Hogan and this is a knife. That's not a knife, this is a knife. That's sort of...
Yeah, the other thing...
I have not watched that movie in ages.
The other one you've got to be really careful about, depending on what accent you say it in, because if you say it in an Australian accent, it sounds fine. But if you say "you big spunk" in an English accent, it doesn't come across the same. Doesn't come across the same. No pun intended.
No. All right then, how are we getting on then, Kirby? Because you know what I'm asking you to do, because we've done this sort of feature on the show for about 7 years. So we're now going to do the feedback, what Kirby has asked for people to send in. I'm dragging it out, and I'm not going to drag it out anymore.
You don't need to drag it out. I just need to put the comments in chronological order.
God, so just read the thing out.
Andy said...
Just read them.
Well, now I've put them in chronological order, okay? So there. Andy said, thanks, Kirby. I have loads to do. Billy Kirkbright said, I didn't fall asleep.
Sorry, I missed that bit. Say again.
I didn't fall asleep halfway through it, which means that it must have been decent. Wonderful concept. Insane Daleks locked up in an asylum. How terrifying. Wonderful reference to earlier Dalek stories. I'll give it 8/1/2/10.
Right, before you say the next one.
8.5 out of 10.
Billy, next time you send in one of your lovely bits of feedback, please try and write it as you would say it. And then hopefully Kirby will be able to read it out sounding like you. Right then, sorry, carry on to Brandon Moore.
Mr. M says, the Doctor is acquired. Asylum of the Daleks by Stevie Moffat. This is a great season opener, and I love the series' use of movie of the week ideas with some great episode titles. The concept of a Dalek asylum is really fun, though as some might say... Oh,
naughty! That's not allowed. Only Mr. I don't bother sending feedback in Butcher is allowed to do that.
Yeah, why doesn't he send?
Because you upset him. You upset him apparently. I don't know.
He needs to put out a book of that feedback.
Too late now. He ain't got enough to make the book now. He stopped sending.
I know. He's stopped.
Yeah.
Some might say this story is.
Don't blame me.
Why blame you?
This story...
Get blamed for everything.
No, okay. It's Ben's fault.
Yeah.
May I continue?
Yes, all right, yes.
This story is one episode too short. Wow, he does sound like...
He really has. He's nicking all his bedrooms.
maybe this like the worst really is
ever.
Copyright.
If he signs it off as the Councillor Alan T. Butcher, and then someone shouts Ricky after it, then you know that it's absolutely...
That's probably why he's not doing it anymore, Ben. The Ricky! Yeah, I didn't think of that one.
This story is one episode too short, as I would have liked to have seen more of the Asylum. The story is a bit bogged down with other elements to get a chance to really explore the setting. I'm not too sure about the Daleks harvesting humans, but seeing the eye stalks coming out of people's heads looked good. Parliament of the Daleks is also an odd idea. Yep, you're right.
I can't sign the voting slips properly.
I like the Daleks database being wiped of the Doctor. It's a shame that it's so quickly undone in Time of the Doctor.
Yep.
Amy and Rory being separated gives them some nice stuff to do, but again, it could well have been more interesting if it had taken several episodes for them to be reconciled.
We haven't got that long.
Karen Gillan is hot.
I said this already.
But I have to say that Jenna Coleman is even hotter.
I said that too, but I didn't use those words.
I actually saw her on stage a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
I had front row seats for Lemons at the Harold Pinter Theater. And I can honestly say she is one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever seen.
She's very nice.
Anyway, it's a shame that Oswin dies in this episode, as she would have made a great regular character. She looked great in that red dress.
Alan, where's your Alan?
She looked great in that red dress. At the time, her surprise appearance in this episode blew me away and raised so many questions. There are a couple of odd recurring features across the 5 episodes in Series 7A, namely eggs and light bulbs. They're everywhere. Really? Oh, I guess so. We'll have to keep our eyes open for that. Overall, I really like this one. I just wish the ideas had more time to develop. I'd give this 7.5 out of 10. Next time, Primeval in Space. And Ian Kirk says, I like how the photo seems to have them holding hands. He's referring to the photo I put of...
Yes, well done, Kirby. You can't read the next bit, but... it's interesting that Brandon said about next time Primeval in Space. Of course, Primeval was running when that episode came out, and I'm pretty sure that was what was mentioned, because Primeval was trying to be Doctor Who, and Doctor Who therefore tried to be Primeval.
Yeah, I remember you were always coming on saying Primeval's good, Primeval's horrible, Primeval's good, Primeval's horrible.
Yeah, I think it was quite good for a couple of seasons, and then every episode seemed to be the same story, and then it started being bad. But I have met the bloke from Primeval. He's quite a nice chap. Right then, so I suppose we better carry on with some other bits of feedback. Let's try this one. Oh, hang on, what's this here? Oh, we'll play this one, and then I'll send some text out to...
Well, good afternoon, Tony Redworth, Andy Lynn here. It is 6:15 on Sunday night. I'm just running a bath. I've had a lovely day. I went to church this morning. I took Zach to a Nerf gun birthday party. Went stomping around the local forest for an hour and a half, and I've done about 17,000 paces, so I'm knackered. Anyway, yesterday morning I did my ironing with a new ironing board. There you go, very whiz. And watched Asylum of the Daleks.
That's a highlight,
what surprised me was that... I couldn't actually know anything about this story, which, given the fact I thoroughly enjoyed it, was quite a surprise. I couldn't remember the fact that Jenna Coleman appeared in for the first time and then probably disappeared before reappearing later. However, I think that the whole story itself, the Daleks actually get the Doctor to come and try and save them, is really rather good. I mean, it just shows that they can't help themselves, the eternity worst enemy. I mean, obviously, what they were assuming they were going to do is he would go down, turn off the force field, and blow the planet up and blow him up with it. But they really are quite gormless, like the Daleks. I mean, how many times have they tried to beat him? They've never managed it yet. I like the black references to things like Spiridon and the Planet of the Daleks and things like that, which is a good cross-referencing to stories that for a fan would mean a lot, and for people who aren't a fan actually wouldn't actually take anything away. And there's 2 other bits in there that were like that. If you had seen the Pond Life prequels, you found out why they were splitting up, although the actual reason for it came up rather in the story itself, with Rawley actually going because I think he'd had enough of Amy, and I think people at a certain time had done that, but 25 years on we're still together. But also Amy saying, "Well, I let you go," and it's the fact that I didn't realise she couldn't have children. I don't think that's ever been referred to before. It also makes sense a reference in PS, which is like an unmade story. I think if people have seen this, where Roy's dad, whose name I've completely forgotten. I'm sure Kirby's now shouting it at me, and thank you, Kirby. I still can't remember it. Meets his adopted grandson. And there's the voiceover from Roy saying, "We finally adopted." I wonder, well, why did they adopt? And now you found out. And P.S. It's a very, very moving little story. It's only about 5-6 minutes long, and it's all done with board strips. But it's quite poignant today because it's 15 years ago today that I said goodbye to my own dad for the last time. So. Yeah, it's one that I will always watch, and I always have a tear in my eye for it because it is really quite moving. However, the story itself, I think it really rocked along, and it's human Daleks. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
I am a human Dalek.
The Daleks do realise the Doctor and his companions. Again, it's they actually do understand the Doctor to a certain degree, but they just never know they're never going to beat him, are they? There were some bits, when they goes this crash spacecraft and the guy walks in and says, "Well, it's spotted 2 hours ago," and then suddenly, "Oh, actually, it's because I died a year ago and I died outside, so my body's preserved." And then suddenly it's, "Oh, flipping heck, these things are coming to life." I mean, human Daleks were actually excellent. I think they really were. Then you get to see Soufflé Girl, as she was then. I forget, she has so many different names in this story, doesn't she, Jenna Coleman and all the characters. And it's, yes, it's burning soufflés. I mean, yeah, soufflés, as an experienced cook myself, I do know they're not exactly easy to make. You have to get them just right. But the Doctor's the only one who goes about eggs, and eggs exterminate, of course, becomes a standing joke, and the milk. And then, he does realise that, yes, she actually is a Dalek. But did she start off as being a Dalek? Was she as human and became a Dalek? This is what I don't think we ever get told. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think ahead. Spoilers! Whether this actually gets followed up. But it's interesting the fact that she still retains enough of her humanity, if she ever had any humanity before, to actually help the Doctor and to release him and to save him. And by making the Daleks forget. Now, again, that's interesting. I don't think that ever got referred to again, because presumably it can only be this particular batch of Daleks who made forget, because obviously the rest of the Daleks, whenever he comes across them in the future, always do remember exactly who he is. So it's, do you have a little... Obviously, I'm guessing they all got destroyed at the end, so that didn't really matter. But it'd be interesting if any of them actually got out and the word got out, well, who is the Doctor? And the more chanting Doctor Who at the end, of course, would make any fan laugh. And all in all, I mean, I must admit, I did thoroughly enjoy this story. It certainly showed Amy and Rory in a different light, on the verge of divorce. Rory, really tearing his hair out. Amy... You think Amy's just being selfish and doing it for her own career, then you realise what it's all about. It actually does make them really more 3D characters. They've got a lot of backstory in it, and the fact they stayed together after all that. Although they still don't travel the Doctor again, or they do later. But I mean, they go home. I think these must be the first characters who actually did get dropped off and picked up from time to time. I can't remember any other companions who had that, so that was unusual. But yeah, all in all, thoroughly enjoyed this story. And I'm now going to fall in the bath. So until next time, I'll be seeing you.
Did you say fall in the bath?
I hope not.
Anyway, well, he was talking about the bit near the end, which seems to happen quite a lot in some of these Moffat stories. This Doctor Who thingy, because obviously we had it with Dorian Moldovar in the last thing, wasn't it? Doctor Who. Now, my cousin Robert Eady, Dr. Robert Eady, he sort of looks after doctors at Belfast Titanic, the original docks where Titanic was built. So he's a doctor who looks after doctors. That's a true story, that too. Deserves a certain amount of credit.
Right. All right. Is there a punchline to this? Or?
It's not a punchline. It's a bloody story.
Right. It was a lovely story, Adam. Thanks for the anecdote.
Yes, it was.
Right then, Mary, I've sent you over something. I can't remember what it was.
What do you want me to read, Robert?
Oh, Mary's going to read Robert. No, not you. I'm going to get Mary. You've already given us your dulcet tones by reading out your feedback section. So Mary's now going to do Robert. Because I know that you're going to struggle doing the Aussie accent. But Mary can do it just like that.
The accent? I don't think so. In fact, Robert doesn't have an Australian accent.
Oh, don't be pedantic, Mary.
So I think I'm being saved by that.
Yeah, isn't Robert originally British anyway?
So was blimmin' Billy, but he's Australian, I think.
Robert is originally English, so he's kept that.
Excuses.
So Robert's feedback. I'm going to have to sit this one out. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I quite liked this. I don't remember what I originally thought. Some nice scenes between Amy and Rory when they talk things out, though I'm not one who really likes all this relationship stuff in Doctor Who. Some nice odd moments, such as when they discover the crew and the guys acting weird. I still don't know what I think of the Dalek people, though when the eyepiece comes out, it reminds me of the helmets seen in Resurrection of the Daleks. Though when it's explained about those Daleks who have survived him, citing those stories mentioned, it would help if we actually saw appropriate Daleks from those times and not New Who Daleks. While that kind of twist with who Oswin is, the Dalek has been done in movies before. The twist, not people being Daleks. It was done well here, and quite sadly. Though points off for Moffat and the stupid effing Doctor Who crap. That's it from Robert.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Robert. Okay, before Ben does his little bit, we'll play this.
Hello, 20 Megawatt Podcast is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
Asylum of the Daleks by Stephen Moffat. I thought you were just pouting at a camera. In the classic series, some Daleks had guns that looked like egg whisks. Maybe that was the source of the soufflé reference.
Very good.
The classic series human slaves had helmets because they could not do effects like this. Some Daleks in Asylum are not allowed to have weapons. A hint of politics there. We have the first appearance of the Impossible Girl and her first death. I don't think she will die as often as Rory. Oswin manages to wipe out the Daleks' memory of the Doctor, a feat the Doctor and Mickey previously managed to pull with humans. If your divorce papers get lost on a Dalek spaceship, then I suppose you are still married. Back in 1963, the Doctor was there to do the thinking, and Ian was available if any violence was needed.
Yes.
They missed an opportunity with this story to have a Dalek companion. Bye for now.
Very good. He's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
I reckon he should do feedback on the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast. Let's see what's coming through on the live feed before we have Ben. We've got... Oh, hang on, look, I've got find another jingle here. Right. What have we got? Brandon Moore. Sorry I'm late. I was too busy making soufflés. And Tim Jury. Says... The one with all the Daleks typing this from my seat at Cambridge Corn Exchange. Less than half an hour till an evening of comedy with Dave Gorman. Thanks for taking the time to send that in, Tim. A big
Daleks are typing this?
What?
You said the one with all the Daleks typing this.
Comma. I did pause. We have all the Daleks, comma, typing this from my seat at Cambridge Corn Exchange.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, no, that's fine. If we need to now start speaking punctuation, Kirby, that's fine.
And now it's over to Ben Shabala, who is now going to dictate a special bit of feedback that isn't from Councillor Alan T. Butcher.
Oh, good, ... The latest yearly outing for the Daleks, ! Wonderful. Once more, the Daleks appear, space!
Yeah.
Do the, quote, Terry Nation Army, unquote, have that much power in the BBC, ... A new foe would have been nice, full stop.
That's a period.
Oh, snow, comma, it must be Christmas. Oh, sorry, it must be a Christmas show, full stop. Oh, no, it's not, full stop. Now, let's get this straight, comma. This is the one where we're told a few weeks before transmission there would be a new companion, open brackets, Jenna Coleman, close bracket, only for her to be a Dalek to die at the end of the programme, full stop. The new eye stalk in dead people's foreheads is a great idea, full stop. Oh well, comma. The Teletubby Daleks had to be there, I suppose, full stop. Who was the young lady in red? Will we ever see her again? 4 dots. Or it's another dot. At least a special weapons Dalek appears. Quote, there's a nose joke if anyone wants to pick it.
Ah, very good.
Unquote. Quote, identify, comma, identify, unquote. Quote, run you clever boy, 5 dots, and remember, dot, unquote. Next up, the Chibnall story, dinosaurs on a spaceship, no punctuation where there should be at least...
Therefore, you shouldn't have actually said it then.
Should be a full stop, yeah.
There should be a full stop there. Yeah. There's nothing.
Yes.
I'll give up. Stay safe, everyone, full stop. Linda and Terry, both punctuated correctly with capital letters and a full stop at the end of the sentence. I will give that 99% of punctuation due to the missing full stop at the end of the spaceship on the third last sentence. But congratulations, Linda and Terry, you've passed.
Okay. Well, we haven't been around for 3 weeks, so when I move over to the next section of the show, which is Doctor Who News, I'll be very disappointed not to find any.
I've got some.
So let's see what we got.
I've got some.
You have? What? That's not
news.
Yeah, some actually proper real Doctor Who news. It's about real Doctor Who's and stuff and people to do with Doctor Who.
That requires a bit of special music, doesn't it, really? Well, no, you say no, it doesn't.
No, I can't be asked for that. Oh, so, basically, there was an interview that went out with old Chibbers earlier in the week. I think it was on the Radio Times. In which he was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Agreeable to the fact that what he has written in his stories in Doctor Who, the beef of the story will basically all be ripped up and completely changed in the next couple of years. And that's what you've got to get used to when you're the head of Doctor Who writing, is that you'll write something in it and then someone else will completely reverse it. So he was being quizzed on whether he was worried about that, and he said, no, it happens to everybody. So basically everything that he's done will be reversed, and it always has been if you have a look through the history of Doctor Who. And that's Doctor Who news today.
Yes, but I read somewhere yesterday that there was supposed to be an announcement, Doctor Who announcement, coming up at some point yesterday.
Oh,
but I didn't
that's
see it.
Did you not see it?
No.
Right, the announcement is that... Kirby, you'll be quite excited by this. Doctor Who Confidential's coming back.
But I said that I told you guys that rumor like a year ago.
Well, I mean, that
it's
may
not
have been
a competition as far as
Kirby
I know.
Could be considered a guess, I'm afraid.
Yes.
No, Moffat came out right as he was announced as the new showrunner. Not Moffat.
Well, sound capture that one.
Said as when he was announced as the new showrunner, he was bringing back something like Confidential. So no,
that was kind of the exact words they used. Actually, Kirby, something like Confidential.
Yes,
it's a spin-off of the Doctor Who show, just like Confidential was. Whether they call it Confidential or Doctor Who Uncovered or Doctor Who Dematerialized. Oh, that was clever.
Behind the scenes of Doctor Who.
Oh, Kirby, you've just beaten all of my ones.
Yeah,
so there's 2 bits of Doctor Who news, and a third bit is...
That sounds like a hovercraft switching off.
See, if anyone actually got some decent stereo, that would have sounded really good, because I went all the way around my microphone. It's the Doppler effect.
I need a Doppler for my feet. Actually.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm enjoying this.
Yep, it is only you, Mary.
Yeah, must be
no, it's not. I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, I'm done.
Okay,
have you got any Doctor Who news, or should we move on to sponsors?
Well, I have got some more Doctor
Who won that Coda?
Who.co.uk?
Yes, it was, Kirby. Thank you for listening.
This was posted on the 29th.
Never heard of it.
When did we last record? It was in March at some point, wasn't it? Nothing it was. Right. Doctor Who Magazine, issue 589. We nearly caught up with a Doctor Who magazine on issues of the show, at least. The latest edition of Doctor Who magazine, the programme's directors discuss the new TARDIS. The latest Doctor Who magazine includes an exclusive interview with all 3 directors of the forthcoming 60th anniversary specials, Chania Button, Tom Kingsley and Rachel Talalay, or Talalay, or whatever it is. In this revealing feature, they discuss the new TARDIS set. Now, I'm going to only do one of these quotes that these people have done because I could be all day reading them out. Chania Button says, "Oh my gosh, it's enormous." Hang on, my fly's undone.
That's what she said, quite literally.
I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. My flies must be undone. I'll just...
Look at the
It's
size
a sort of church-like...
Oh, that's an image nobody ever needs.
It's a sort of church-like in scale. Oh dear, well, that sounds... If it's got a spire, I suppose it would... Anyway, and yet it's also this intimate space that takes you from one place to another to even larger, wider worlds. There we are. It tidied itself up a little bit at the end of that statement. Yeah, so there's a good issue of Doctor Who magazine with... we've got 3 doctors on the cover: Hartnell, Troughton, Tennant.
What they need to do is they need to make it so huge inside that it's like different every time, so you never actually know where you are in the TARDIS. And so just like bring any old tatty bit set out and go, yeah, it's the TARDIS, yeah. And then from the outside, because like they haven't got the funds anymore to move around a big wooden blue box, they just make it's like a Ford Cortina or something like that. The BBC budget cuts hit Doctor Who, but then actually because it's Disney, they'll have to make it some sort of massive Disney Mickey Mouse cuddly toy, or like maybe like Pluto's car actually can be the new TARDIS.
Yeah. Anyway, pardon?
It's for me.
Longing for Longleat. 40 years ago this week, any serious Doctor Who fan was heading for the west of England and the stately home of Longleat for the BBC official event celebrating 20 years of Doctor Who. Those who made the journey and paid the £7 of the 2-day ticket, £7 for 2 days, were treated to the greatest collection of stars and memorabilia from the series ever collected together in one place. Not only were all 4 surviving Doctors in attendance, but many companion members of the production team, companions and members of the production team were there to answer fans' questions and sign autographs. Probably for free in those days.
Yeah.
The day was pardon?
Yes, quite.
The day was incredibly popular, taking the BBC by surprise with queues clogging up the Wiltshire lanes for miles around. Nowadays, it only clogs up Wiltshire lanes or lanes in the West Country who are trying to get into Jeremy Clarkson's shop. To mark
that's really mental because Jeremy Clarkson's shop's in Oxfordshire.
Oh, I tried to do a joke, it didn't work. But if I had got the geography right, that would have been really clever. To stop being cheeky.
To get to Jeremy Clarkson's farm, all the way from Wiltshire.
Stop it. I'll set the dog on it. I'll have to go upstairs and get the dog, but we'll have to go. Anyway, to mark the anniversary of the new download... To mark the anniversary, a new download has been made available, Longing for Longleat. The download has been created by John Collier and Alex Storer, who previously created 2 ebooks celebrating the Doctor Who exhibitions in Blackpool. I went to one of those. It was called Blackpool.
And I've downloaded that particular book before. It's really interesting.
Yes. The publication is packed full of previously unseen photos and memories from attendees of some of the people behind the event. It can be downloaded for free if you go to DoctorWhoNews.net, and there's a link on this particular article. On the article itself, it's got some free, charming, old-style photos that weren't taken with digital cameras of John Pertwee, Janet Fielding, and Tom Baker. Jinx Monsoon.
Be downloaded from then because you've like dangled this massive carrot and gone look everyone.
Just bloody well said. If you go to DoctorWhoNews.net and scroll down to the Longing for Longleat article, there's a link on that article. Right.
All needed to know.
Yes. Jinx Monsoon joins Doctor Who. Award-winning actress and singer Jinx Monsoon to join the cast of Doctor Who. Monsoon is the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race and has recently completed a sell-out run in Chicago on Broadway. Can
I join in with the rest of the world by saying who?
Yeah, the winner of the RuPaul's Drag Race.
What?
Do you want me to... RuPaul's Drag Race.
I don't watch.
No, I don't watch it either, but it's very popular. It's on the iPlayer. Was it BBC Three or something? I don't know. Stephen Moffat wins Terrence Dicks Award for being a crap... Oh, sorry.
Does this mean that Doctor Who will be banned in Florida?
What, are you not allowed to be a drag queen in Florida?
Or is it Tennessee? Yeah, one of those states.
Oh.
No, you can be a drag queen. They're just outlawing drag queen story hours. That's all.
What's a story hour?
Where drag queens sit down and teach little children about being drag queens.
Oh, those! Oh, they're silly. Stephen Moffat has become a second...
Interesting, isn't it?
Stephen Moffat has become the second recipient of the... And I'm not going to get into it. So I nearly went there, but I didn't. Yeah, he's been given the second recipient of the Terrence Dicks Award for writers by the Doctor Who Appreciation Society. Wonder why? What's he done? Right then, so that concludes Doctor Who news via that page, and I am curious to look on the BBC Doctor Who page to see if anything has happened. They never really put much news on the BBC Doctor Who page of any use apart from stuff that we already know.
It's not like a decent Doctor Who site. It's kind of like, we produce Doctor Who, and here's something that may have happened about a year ago.
Yeah, it's basically what it is.
Or it sounds like just a lot of advertising to me.
Way back when New Who first came out, the Doctor Who page on the BBC was great.
Yeah, it was. It was
some
like
wonderful stuff out there,
right.
And you can still find some of it archived.
I can vindicate this point I just made. This is when you go to it says bbc.co.uk/blogs/Doctor Who and click on latest news as a tab. The latest news, according to the BBC Doctor Who pages, on Sunday, the 25th of July, 2021.
Oh my gosh.
Game of Thrones star Jacob Anderson is set to make his debut on Doctor Who later this year. He's done, dusted and finished his time on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I bet you if you went to www.disney.com/Doctor Who, you'd have all the latest news.
God, they're useless, aren't they? Really bad. So that concludes, sadly, because of the BBC's inadequacies in the keeping up to date department. What's that? I thought it was more news that I missed, but isn't. There's nothing there. Terrible. It's just all about the 13th Doctor. Okay. Ben said he wanted to do, or wanted me to do the, what do they call those things? Oh, yeah, sponsors, that's it. Whoon.co.uk, an Isle of Wight company.
Whoon.co.uk?
Yes, an Isle of Wight company, I may add. There are some latest products coming up on their website. One is the Daleks Ultimate Comic Strip Collection 2. It's a 1999 paperback, probably in the sort of comic book size presentation. That's available by now, along with the Third Doctor Adventures, Return of Jo Jones. Good old Jo Jones, played by the beautiful and wonderful and rather aged Katie Manning. But it doesn't matter, she's 80. She's still beautiful.
You take away with the other one there, mate.
She's beautiful. But I can't get it. I don't think she's had that many facelifts. But I tell you what, she's beautiful. And a very, very, very nice lady.
She's going to love you after this last minute of podcasting.
I got a funny feeling. I got a funny feeling Katie Manning knows she's quite old. How old is Katie Manning then, Kirby? I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
I don't know.
I'd guess about 35 years old, I think.
We have a facility for this, don't we? Alexa, how old is Katie Manning?
40. I'm going 40.
Networthpost.com. Manning is 32 years.
Oh, what? No, she would be delighted with that, but I think somebody talked over the question.
I said 35 initially.
I'm going to ask the question again. Alexa, how old is Katie Manning?
From celebnetworthpost.com. Manning is 32 years.
Oh, okay. Alexa assures us that she is in fact 32 years. I think she might be getting confused.
There's another. Hang on,
another
Alexa,
Manning.
Stop.
I'm having trouble hearing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Say that again?
No, I'm not. Shut up. Right then, Katie
There are two Katie Mannings, I think.
No,
Katie
there's
Manning,
only-
English
there's
Australian
three-
actress, apparently. Right, she is 76. All right, she's not that old then.
Trombones.
I take it all back. Sorry, Katie.
She's 40.
I saw her last year. She's lovely. Lovely lady.
Yeah, I remember going to a Time Gate, back when it was Time Gate instead of Atlanta, and I was just standing outside of some room, and Katie Manning comes wandering along, just gives me a hug for no apparent reason, and
yeah, she gave me a hug. It was a wonderful moment that I shall cherish.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. I spelt who won wrong.
Yes,
anyway, but yeah, I just went up to her and said it's. I've been waiting for how many years? Quite a lot of time, and she said something on the lines of, "Oh, I hope it's worth it, darling." Where's that? Oh, I hope it's worth it. First Doctor Adventures Demon Song must be a Father of River song. Oh no, that was Rory, wasn't it? Sorry, trap wind. Demon Song, managing to land the TARDIS in Dodo's far-flung future in 2020s. Doctor detects a haunting melody on the streets of Camden. People are going missing, and one of them is Dodo. And a lot of people who remember Dodo will probably wish she'd gone missing a bit more sooner than she did. Diary of River Song 11, which features Ben's favourite actress in Doctor Who, Alex Kingston. River Song decides to investigate a temporal anomaly after a lunar university expedition makes some odd discoveries in an old Earth house. Pages of her own diary with an inscrutable riddle written across them. And the Eighth Doctor, Time War 5 cassette. Is that Cass? Oh, Cass. Looks like cassette. I was reading that wrong. That was already mentioned last time. I'm just going to see what's going to be coming soon. That's his stuff you can pre-order through whowon.co.uk. Fourth Doctor, 12.1 New Frontiers. I don't know how he's still doing these productions, Tom, because he's so frail. I saw a picture of somebody papped with their phone the other day while he was just sitting on a park bench. 8th of March 3, Louis Jameson, who's currently in Emmerdale. And 11th Doctor Chronicles for All of Time and Space. 11th Doctor. What is Matt Smith doing Big Finish now then?
No, that's not Big Finish.
Oh, is it not?
That's BBC.
No, I think you find it's Big Finish.
Well, or if it is Big Finish, then it's someone narrating it. It's not Matt Smith himself.
Yeah, on the cover is a picture of, it does say BBC Doctor Who All of Time and Space, and at the bottom, Big Finish. And Matt Smith is on the cover, but you know more than
there's several 11th Doctor Chronicles out there, but it's always a companion that is narrating what the Doctor's doing. It's not the Doctor himself.
Okay. And, of course, there's a few Torchwood things coming out which we now accept as Torchwood as long as our friend of the show, Gareth David Lloyd, is in them, playing the dead, but not dead, Yanto Jones.
He's getting better.
That is whowon.co.uk. Lavazi.
Whowon.co.uk?
Yes. Lavazi.co.uk, who are sponsoring Vilile Shabalala at FantasyCon 3 and essentially the podcast, but on the back of that, have some Doctor Who merchandise available to them. You can get a slightly dated 2023 diary. It says, if you shop today, you get a free diary, and it's got the TARDIS. Basically, it's a TARDIS diary. It is a few months sort of late, but you will get one for free if you...
well, that's why they're giving them away.
That's right. And guess what you can get? These amazing things at the Lavazi shop. Fourth Doctor scarves.
Yeah, they're great. I got one right over there.
And 13th Doctor scarves. Don't get to see many of them. And if you are sort of have a particular allegiance to LGBTQ plus causes, the 13th Doctor scarf is perfect because it has that sort of rainbowy thing on it. So that's perfect. So for them, and also we have season 13th burgundy scarf. I know I was talking to Julian Clark today, and he's getting a burgundy jacket made for him that is to, screen spec of the Fourth Doctor. And that would be a perfect accompaniment to that. Although Alistair Pearson has the season 18 scarf, and he reckons it is screen accurate, unlike the Lavazzi one. The Lavazzi one, for me, does the job. I'm quite happy with my one. You can also get the 7th Doctor Paisley hanky, and is Paisley scarf as well. So there's lots of cosplay items, as well as the 5th Doctor jumper, cricket jumper, and lots of malarkey. And the umbrella as well. Join their blog and join their emailing list as well, because they are very interactive when it comes to Doctor Who. They do sell other things like normal stuff, knitwear and Star Trek merchandise and whatnot. It's navazi.co.uk. Now, earlier on in the show, Mr. Bartlett Sloan of Kirbiness had asked me to talk about Heroes Con, which was today. I took a day off work.
Do you have any pictures posted yet?
I posted a video on TikTok. Do you want me to try and post that one on the 20 megabyte page? It's basically a little walkthrough video.
That would be nice, yes.
I'm afraid at this point I'm going to have to dip away due to some work commitments. So it's been lovely talking with all, and enjoy the next segment.
Ben, did you see what I sent over on the little chat? You need to do Victor Borge's phonetic punctuation next time.
Hold on.
Yeah, why did you send that? You just might come out and say it in the show.
I shall have a look at that in a second, Kirby.
Okay.
But yes, lovely to speak. And
thanks for coming on, Ben, because I forgot to ask. So I was quite pleased the fact that you decided to take it upon yourself to attend. So thank you very much.
I do check the group chat once every fortnight.
That's very nice. Isn't that nice of everybody?
Oh, nice.
When are we recording next?
Next week. Why ask me now?
Because Ben is about to drop off, and he would need to know.
That sounds painful.
I'll have a look at the chat and see if everyone says, see you Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
Right,
see you later, everybody. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye, Ben.
Bye. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I put the video on here somewhere. Oh, here it is. I'll have to post the video that TikTok sent me rather than the link to the TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok video. And I've got to put a thing that says Heroes Con, Newport Oil. I'll put a comma in there. Oil. Hang on. Oh, come on. What? S, not an L. Isle of Wight. There we go. And post. Okay, right, so next week is, it's fine, St George's Day next week, but there's nothing on my schedule, so yes, it will be next week. Where did I get up to before you interrupt me, Kirby? I was about to say something. Oh, yes, Heroes Con. Okay, so, Heroes Con, little event done by our friends at Heroes who used to sponsor the show, but don't anymore, because I don't think they feel there's a need to. But, their event there's no celebrity guest or anything. It's basically a cosplay event and a couple of some artists and comic artists. They're basically all geared around selling comics. We had I'll keep forgetting the name of that robot from Short Circuit. Darn. Anybody remember? It's a film called Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2. Short Circuit 2 was very sad, but I never really saw Short Circuit 1. Anybody remember the name of the blimmin' robot from Short Circuit?
Nope, never saw either film.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's the robot from Short Circuit, made by a fan to a very accurate, spec, because apparently they were given access to the prop itself to take measurements and whatnot. So, and it has been made so they can control it via a computer, put some words in it.
Number 5.
Ian Kirk said Johnny 5 before you piped up with it, Kirby. That was very good. I think Roy was having a chat with the chaps who brought it down with a view to bringing it to FantasyCon. See what happens with that one.
I've never seen the movie, so
there was a stage performance. I didn't see any of the stage stuff apart from the little tribute to Kerry Fuller, who was RT lady at FantasyCon, who passed away a few weeks ago, and she was also heavily involved. Any geeky events on the Isle of Wight, she made sure she was the first through the door to help out. So she was a great lady. And there was a a tribute paid to her. Our green room at FantasyCon this year would be called Kerry's Tea Room, after her as well. So it's a bit of a sad loss to the cosplay community on the island. And there was obviously stalls. We got a few people at the event, albeit ours, in regards to people selling stuff. And lots of people in cosplay. It was very well attended. It was a free event, so I suppose anybody will walk in when it's free and attend anyway. We can't afford to make ours free, sadly. But it was interesting for me in seeing the potential for footfall at FantasyCon, but which is only like a few hundred yards away from Key Arts, which is where this event was. But yeah, I was run by lovely people, attended by lovely people. It was a lovely atmosphere, and yeah, it was really good fun. I'm hoping I can, when they do it next year, I'll take the day off for it then as well. And also, we had an opportunity to talk about FantasyCon and give out leaflets. Roy had the TARDIS up, so anybody who wanted to pose by the TARDIS, he had props for them to put on, Doctor Who related props obviously, and I'd give out Seiko, for doing that you get one of these, which is one of our leaflets. So yeah, that was really good. And I can't really answer your question because I've basically told you everything that happened. I've posted a video on the 20 megabyte Doctor Who Podcasts Facebook group, which you can join. There was a copy of the TikTok I sent out. There are TikToks on my TikTok page that I did at the event. One with Johnny 5 and the other one of me coming out the TARDIS as if it was a toilet, because high-end comedy on my TikTok page. So that covers that. I
haven't been on TikTok in days, so I didn't see them.
Stuff coming through on the live feed. After Tim Drury's... I've got to play the... I'm contracted to play it, haven't I? Yes, after Tim's comment, Terry Miles put ... and I wish Bennett was around to hear that, because obviously that was aimed at him. And then the Longley Doctor Who exhibition was in Lynn, and I were there. We camped. Sorry, that confused me. I got bamboozled. Lynn and I were there. We camped overnight. You've been together that long, Terry? Blimey heck. And then, yeah, like I say, Ian Coates said Johnny.
So, Master, why didn't you go to it?
Trying to make me jump there. Just steady on. I'm here. You don't have to shout. Why didn't I go where?
To Longley, or did you?
Right. So. First things first, they said it was for the 20th anniversary of Doctor Who, didn't they?
Yeah.
The 20th anniversary of Doctor Who. Yeah, I was a Doctor Who fan then. Okay. Well, I would have had to ask my granddad to take me there. I wouldn't have had any money. My granddad would have thought that being asked to go to a Doctor Who exhibition or whatnot was absurd. That probably answers your question. The first time I went to a Doctor Who event was... get this right, when Colin Baker opened up the Needles Doctor Who exhibition, and I'm going to look it up someday, see when that was, because you've seen the pictures of me with Alistair and Bessie, haven't you? They're quite well known pictures. That was when Colin came down to, oh dear, my throat's going. Colin came down to open up the Needles Doctor Who exhibition, so I'm just going to look it up. Doctor Who.
So, are there any pictures of the Needles Doctor Who convention? That would be interesting. Or,
I did take. If you let me speak, I did take some pictures at the event, but the only ones I really shared or kept, as prints go, are the ones with me with Alistair on Bessie, me with Colin. There are others, and I have the negatives, I believe, in this drawer. Now, my lovely wife has got for me, for my birthday, a flatbed scanner which is designed specifically for recovering prints from negatives. And I'm hoping to recover some of the some of the pictures I took of the artefacts within the exhibition itself. I also, as you well know, went to the Doctor Who exhibitions in Blackpool, and I have got some video. I'm pretty sure I posted some video somewhere of the Doctor Who exhibitions in Blackpool. I thought I did anyway. I'm pretty sure you said, because it was a long time ago, and I think we were doing the show when I went up there. I put Longleat down and not Needles. because I'm talking to you and doing this at the same time. I thought you'd be piping up. Oh yes,
awful.
I remember those.
Yeah, I don't remember them.
Yeah,
so
God's sake, I have they around somewhere.
I remember the picture of you on Bessie, of course.
No, I'm talking about
that picture too.
Yes, as well. It's a good picture on it.
Yeah. Now there is a on that same link that had the Longing for Longleat. They do have a link to another book, Blackpool Remembered, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, you were asking me about.
Yes.
So those pictures should be somewhere, but I didn't take that many on the day. Needles was July 1994. So it was in 1994 that the Doctor Who exhibition at the Needles was opened. So I'd been married for a year when that happened, and I think around the same time.
And she was rolling her eyes at the fact that you were going to that.
My granddad died in 1995, and after he passed, I inherited his car, which we drove up to Blackpool in 1996. And 1996 is when I went to the Doctor Who exhibition in Blackpool first, and then I went to it again a bit later on when we'd had Alicia, and I had a digital camera and a video camera, and was able to film inside that, and everything. I remember everything looking a bit ropey and requiring a bit of a dust. But what I'm going to do for you, Kirby, because despite what everybody says, you are quite lovely, aren't you? I'm going to post somebody else's blog of the 1994 Needles.
And I was just looking for something like that, and you're going to do my work for
somebody
me.
else's photos, but irrelevant to what we were talking about.
Yes, thank you.
Page. So that's what the Doctor exhibitions I've seen. That one, Blackpool. Yeah, that's about it really. Oh, of course, the other ones being the amazing ones at the experiences in London and Cardiff. They were really good. It's about time they started.
I still don't understand
why
I do not understand why they closed the one in Cardiff.
Nor do I. But hopefully now RTD seems to be breathing new life into the world and universe of Doctor Who. Some things like this might start reappearing, and all the Doctor Who memorabilia I have that nobody's really interested in at the moment might become interesting to people again. They are certainly interested in Doctor Who.
When you do a search for Needles Doctor Who exhibition Isle of Wight, one of the first pictures that comes up is of Bessie, but someone has put Doctor Who at the Needles on Bessie's bonnet. Was that on there in the picture?
No.
With you? Huh, that's weird.
No. Bessie was hired, because there's a few Bessie type cars around. That particular Bessie was hired, and a Bessie was at one of the experiences, but there was one inside the experience and one outside, so there's definitely a few Bessies. None of them had that, what you just said, on the cover. So yeah, that's it as far as that go. I might have mentioned on the blurb for the last episode that we're no longer going to be doing what we watched this week. Because the reason. I just dropped my phone.
No,
the reason
I didn't
why.
know that, but I'm glad of it.
The reason why.
I was all prepared, and I don't remember you saying that.
No, because I posted it on the blurb yesterday when I published the podcast. The reason being, I was watching the viewership of the live feed while we went into it, and it went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Very quickly.
Yeah.
As soon as
but the live feed is only a few people, as I understand it.
But
whereas people listening.
But but live feed people stay with us right after that. That makes me think that people aren't really interested in what we watched this week. So I've decided that that
even as we're doing it, I'm even kind of tuning out and playing games on the computer because I'm not that interested in what everybody's watching.
My point precisely. So
I just caught up with Schmigadoon just to tell you guys I was watching Schmigadoon.
Okay, well, congratulations. I watched episode 1 of Mandalorian the other day, but I've been told I need to watch the whole of Boba Fett before I watch it. So that I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, you do need to watch Boba Fett. You haven't watched Boba Fett?
Watched episode 1, but didn't pick it up.
See, we can still sneak it in.
We're not talking about what we watch. We're just talking about what we should watch. It's a different thing altogether. Did go to the cinema. What did I watch at the cinema last week? Oh, Blast! I can't remember what I watched at the cinema. I'm not sorry. We're not doing the feature, Mary, by the way, so I don't feel like you're being left out or anything. We watched a film, and I'm doing my head in to try and remember what it was. Cine World. Right. Hopefully it's still on, and then otherwise I won't ever find out what I watched. Now it wants me to log in, for goodness sake. Oh, no, it's still asking me to log in. Oh, come on. Air. There we go. A film called Air, which was about, and it'll be interesting to Mary, actually, about Michael Jordan's family and his saving of Nike by just... and also the character played by Matt Damon, who sort of really puts his heart and soul into getting Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan wanted to go to Adidas. It's a really good film. It has a bit of a slow bit at the start. Just get through the slow bit, and you'll enjoy that one, especially if you like a bit of basketball. And Michael Jordan's voice is in the film. It's not actually him, the actor, but he does. It's very, very cleverly done, and it's got a good cast as well. So, okay, just saying. I remember watching that series on Netflix, actually, that was basically about Michael Jordan's whole career and life. Absolutely brilliant series. I can't remember what it was called, though. There you go. Might as well not mention it if I can't remember what it's called. Of course, we previously watched Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Dungeons and Dragons, all very good films. And I'm not watching a lot of dramas at the moment, although... Like I say, I did watch Mandalorian. You got me off on a tangent.
So are we actually doing that segment?
No, we're not, sorry. No, I just wanted to say that I couldn't remember what film I watched. I knew I watched something.
I mean, we're either doing it or we're not.
No, we're not doing it. I do apologise, Mary. Let's see if anybody's still listening. Let's see if that my... oh, they are. Well, I'm not going to do it anyway. I'm not doing it. Sorry, no. Oh, Lillian says, I'm interested. Are you really, Lillian? Are you really? Oh, God. Make me feel bad now. It's 10:30.
Well, I mean, if what we're doing is Doctor Who centric, then I think it's part of the podcast. You know, are we reading anything? Or are we listening? Or are we watching?
Isn't it? When you go to a
but when we go,
convention,
off into flights of everything else, it's like, so what? I mean, everybody's watching stuff.
The weirdest thing, since we moaned about not doing it, the listenership has gone up by 25%, which is a bit strange. Right, anyway, I'm not going to do it anyway, but it's nice to just brush over some of the things you might advise people to try and watch, but it's very quiet in the Doctor Who department, especially as the series is sort of being made, and I'm just sort of eager to get on with it, with Doctor Who. As far as us goes, we're into the last segment of Matt Smith's tenure in Doctor Who.
Yay.
And still there's a never-ending feeling.
Not just his last series, but the last, 3 episodes that are half decent.
Yeah.
Mary. But it still feels like, and I said, well, I'm going to be leaving the show at the end of the journey. I'm still stuck here, and it's just like there's no end to it. I have a funny feeling that the way things are going, that Capaldi could be done before the end of the year. That sounds a bit drastic, but I think it could be. And then we'll be into 13. But by the time we get to the end of Jodie's time, we would have probably had a whole series of the 14th and 15th Doctor. I just can't see an end to it. God.
Yeah.
Whose idea was this?
I have to confess, very low interest in the Capaldi era as well as the 13th Doctor.
You never know. You might have your opinion changed, Mary. She's gone all quiet, so obviously that's right then. So next time we've got dinosaurs on a spaceship, where we will be viewing a tongue-in-cheek episode in which David
with
Bradley
a rather
was
brutal villain.
David Bradley was so impressive, he became the first Doctor.
Yeah.
I know how they made the connection from this terrible, terrible villain to making him this lovable old Doctor.
And he's done rather well for himself. He's obviously likes being Doctor Who. I've met him, very nice chap. He shook back. All these doctors seem to like shaking your hand. Eccleston, I don't know if Peter Moffat got his name right. Peter Davison did.
Yes, he did.
I can't remember. But yeah, he's a nice chap, so I'm glad I got the opportunity to find
Anything else on the feed?
What?
Before we sign off.
Lillian Robbins says, yes, I am. It gives me ideas of things to watch. Yeah, trouble is, Lillian, it only gives you ideas of things to watch. Okay, well, we won't do it this week. And I did give you an idea to go and watch Air. That's a really good film. But if people come back into us and, I really want to find out what you find really good to watch, we might go back to it. But I just get the feeling
and Mary doesn't have to participate.
Mary's got the most interesting points.
Mary, I actually enjoy hearing you talk about things of Big Finish because I really need to get into Big Finish. So there.
Did you want to talk?
I'd love to talk about Big Finish. But,
have you got anything lined up for your what you think of the big? Sorry, what you were going to say about Big Finish to watch? Anything?
Oh no, I mean, right now I don't have anything to say because I didn't prepare anything.
Well, there you go. Then that's my point precisely. So if you had something to say,
right now I'm going through what is called the Worlds of Doctor Who, which is an introduction to a lot of the spin-off series that have taken place, over the years with Big Finish. So they're because they're spin-offs, they're not like Doctor Who centric, but they are, favorite characters from Doctor Who that have gone on to their own series. So that's what I'm listening to now.
Do you know
that would be like Bernice Summerfield?
Oh, my God.
Yes, I like Bernice Summerfield a lot.
Yes.
I did forget something. I'm such a twit.
What?
The last time we talked, I had listened to the story that's centered around Jago and Lightfoot, which
yes.
They're from the Fourth Doctor era, and then now I've just finished a story by the Countermeasures team, which are the paramilitary people that were in Resurrection of the Daleks.
And those are related. So
but they're not Doctor Who centric stories. They're around these people instead, and what they're doing otherwise. So that's what the Worlds of Doctor Who is about. So I do recommend it.
Thank you, Mary. It's very good. That's the sort of thing that Lillian was after. Now I nearly forgot. That's ridiculous. We have finally been able to make an announcement for a guest at FantasyCon. Now, I have been negotiating what feels like a lifetime for this to happen. It's the first time I've actually had to go out and seek an agent to get a specific guest for my convention. But finally, after toing and froing and contract rejections and fiddles with and whatnot, I finally managed to get Elodie Grace Orkin to agree to come to FantasyCon. If she does actually follow this through and not get another acting job at the time and come to our event, it will be the biggest achievement in getting a guest to come to your event I've ever managed to do. And I think I could put
I hate to say it, but I don't know who that is.
Oh, well.
Who is it? I don't know either.
Well, unfortunately, Elodie Grace Orkin is an American actress who played Angela, Eleven's bully in Series 4 of Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
She ended up, her time in the show ended up with her with a roller skate in her face because she bullied Eleven so much that Eleven eventually lost a rag and whacked her in the face with a.
I remember that, yes.
With a roller skate. So, yes, Elodie is coming to FantasyCon. She's a Stranger Thing actress with, it's not just an extra. She had a main part in those stories, in basically the story of Eleven and her pains that she was going through.
2 weeks ago, I was back up at the Starcourt Mall.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And I looked through the little door between. We go to a Korean grocery up there. And it's directly connected to the empty mall. And I looked in there, took another picture. It looks the same.
I have met Elodie before very briefly at London Comic Con. She's a very nice young lady. She's only 18, well, she's probably 19 now. And the best thing about it, and you know what a massive fan Isabella is of Stranger Things, I said to her, okay, well, you have first dibs on sitting with her for the event, and oh no, how am I going to tell so-and-so I can't do whatever? So she was going to be looking after the gaming section, but I think she may end up sitting next to Elodie. The other guest, of course, we had, I've mentioned this previously, Julian Seeger, who was in Vikings of Valhalla, Kai Owen, who was in Tortured and Hollywood, yep. Hollyoaks, Valile Shabalala, who is very, very well known as unofficial Doctor Who companion, in the new, what was it called? The Next Doctor, wasn't it? Craig Fairbrass, who's known for Prime Suspect, Cliffhanger, and the main star of most of the Foot Soldier movies. Martin Ballantyne, a prominent extra from films like the one that Heath Ledger was in, Batman film, Harry Potter, and I think he had a part in something like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something like that, a background role. Elodie Grace Organ, as I said, and we've also got Madame Bella cosplays coming over from Wales, Dead Star Publishing, Meg Hewson, who's a local comic artist and writer, Dan Digby, local comic artist, Adam the caricaturist, who was at FantasyCon last year, Jedi Fight School, including Darth Vader, not the real Darth Vader obviously, and James Valentine, a prominent 10th Doctor cosplayer, also coming over from Wales. That's at least what we've got coming up. We are now the next event, the next Comic-Con on the Isle of Wight, now that Heroes is out of the way. So it's all uphill from here. Yeah, I've managed to do that quite succinctly.
Yeah, I'm curious why, Kirby, you asked me about Bernice Summerfield.
Because I've heard some of the stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it was interesting. I liked it.
Oh, it is.
Good
yeah.
boy. What a nice. He's a nice man.
She was the Doctor's first companion in the Big Finish series.
That's
before
what I
they
thought.
had permission to use anybody else.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right. So next week, dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
I mean next time. Pardon me. I mean next time, because sometimes things occur that I have no knowledge.
Well, I have it written down for next week. So there.
Say next time.
Is that going to be followed by snakes on a plane?
Oh, no. Don't like the sound of that. So, thank you for the listening, watching, taking part in the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Bye.
Ow, my finger.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by who1.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.